Hello, hello. Welcome to Rooted Frequency, where we ground down into the beautiful light that is you. I'm your host, Tiffany Heaney, and thank you for letting me have a little break last week between kids' activities and the podcast and my subscription boxes and my brick and mortar. Everything's been a little busy. But I did need to take the 1 week off, but I can't be without you for another week. So I have to jump back on and get this out to you by tomorrow. Today's Monday, so I'm putting them out on Tuesday. And I just wanted to let everyone know that our subscription box service is pretty awesome. If you like crystals, or you're just getting into crystals, or you are kind of in the beginning of your awakening, if even you're like a experienced intuitive or Akashic record reader, I don't care where you're at in your life, everybody needs crystals. That's just my humble opinion. So, depending on where you're at, I got something for you because my crystal selection is not your generic crystal selection. And unlike some of those big brand names we will not say, I don't send you just a bath bomb, a necklace, a bracelet, and a pocket crystal. No, you're going to get some big crystals. And everyone out there who's listening who already is a subscriber, I want you to start putting unboxing videos on because, like, on the social media, like go on TikTok, tag me, what have you, whatever you're on. And because we're on every single one, I want to show everybody how passionate I am about crystals and in such a way that I don't charge as much as everyone else because I have a million other things going on. So I don't have to charge you an arm and a leg. Honestly, you get value with my subscription boxes, unboxed and stoned. I will link in the show notes. Don't delay. Buy today. I don't know. I just said that on the spot. Anywho, enough of my rant and my sharing. How are you? I thought that today would be a great day, or tomorrow when you listen to this, to uplevel our frequency a bit. So I started thinking about doing a meditation that was kind of more frequency related. It was going to be lengthier. It also would have a lot of like kind of almost sing-songy affirmations in them. And I thought, I'm going to see what frequency we should do. And for those of you who may not have listened to all of the other episodes, I am a intuitive reader. So I actually have my best way of tapping into source is my highest self. And I think people have a ton of different ways that they can communicate. Everybody has this ability. You simply have to put in the work and put in the time and expand that third eye. So I decided to go deep into meditation. And yes, normally I reach out to my highest self, but the other thing that I like to do is reach out to my Starseed family. And then it got me thinking about all of the amazing messages and downloads and information that I have received over the years from this group of individuals, this entity, what have you. And normally I share that with people who are in mentoring with me, but I kind of want to give a summary because it's, not everyone lives here, and I want you to benefit from the same information. And not to say that my information is 100% correct. I am of a firm belief that when we are communicating with source, because all of our brains work differently, that we can have information come through in many different ways. So I don't like to look at it as conflicting when I hear something that another person has had come through in a message or whatnot. I instead like to view it as simply more information. And the more that's out there, you can discern and filter and see what resonates with you. So I just want to share all of these things, and maybe we'll do a short frequency meditation at the end, or what I might do, because I kind of want it to be separate, I might just record that separate and it can be a little bonus that I put in for a little surprise later in the week. Yeah, I like that. So today, the episode is let's talk about Lemuria and Starseeds. Okay, so again, I am just sharing information I have received, and you can take it or leave it. But I have always felt drawn to Atlantis, like many of you, and I do think a large number of us have ties to this kind of Lemuria Atlantis. There's a lot of different theories on what's happened and a lot of different information that comes through, but I'm going to share with you what I have kind of learned in either Akashic Records or doing meditations where I get to go talk to my Starseed family or downloads that I've received and whatnot. So I am connected to, I like to call them Lemurian Starseeds, even though that's not really included in Starseeds. And the reason being is that my line of frequency of energetic beings was in Lemuria and lived and thrived. And many of us were of a higher frequency. So this, Lemuria was much on this transition, just like Earth is right now, into 5D and did not make it. So there was a destruction of Lemuria, and Atlantis was the giant city off of there. So Lemuria actually it went down first. Some people left Lemuria, went to Atlantis. So that could be why you feel ties to both. And the way I like to kind of explain the two is that at one time, Lemuria and Atlantis both existed. And just from visions that I've had, Atlantis is kind of more of the city, the big city. This is where they would have big meetings with dragons, and the dragons actually were members of society and big healers. So there would be big healings in these like temples that they would do, and everything was run on frequency and crystal energy. And then there was also kind of, I liked like more of the country is Lemuria. So people would travel back and forth. I personally have experienced travel on a dragon, and there were a few other ways. There was kind of like it's almost like a teleportation that would happen between the two. And that's a lot because as we transition into 5D, there's more of an understanding of what it actually means that there is no time. And so there's more of an understanding of what time and space is and how it can be manipulated. But that's a talk for another day. So Atlantis was incredible. Giant buildings, and it was like glistening. Then Lemuria, also glistening because everything was so green and so blue and so vibrant, but more people living in the woods. And so if you're like me and once a week you really feel like you want to run away to the woods and live in a tree, you're not crazy. You might be just feeling that calling to a time when things were quite beautiful. So like Atlantis was getting very like political, and also AI was up and coming. Again, talk for another episode. But basically Lumerians were more mm, people who wanted to work with the land. And, in Atlantis, they were working a lot with like energy and manipulation with that, like kind of a more sciencey and experimental. So in Lemuria, you can kind of just picture everyone, like when I've had visions of that space, like little holes in trees that we lived in. So cool. Um, and almost like caves, I guess. So when Lemuria was destroyed, which actually was destroyed by Atlantis, some people fled and went to Atlantis to live in the city. Some people stayed my energy line did and kind of fought or hid. And when this went down, the energy kind of like merged as one, because we all really are one energy and we're just simply like breaking off and experiencing different things. We went to our own dimension. So it's easiest for my brain to think of it as like a star, like, like we went off into a planet, but it's not really the same thing. It's different, but I even like after looking at it, don't completely have a human explanation, I guess, for it. Um, Maybe if you're like super sciencey, maybe you do. But, I love going down the quantum physics rabbit holes and trying to understand all of that stuff. And it's as if it's a space that existed the whole time, because there's a lot of different dimensions, a lot of different spaces that exist all at once. And if you put sort of like intention or put your awareness, put consciousness on that space, we can create things. So we can create these dimensions, we can create these planets. So this space was created and it looks very much like Lemuria, just kind of smaller. And it has been like this little safe haven for Lemurian people. And fear not, my friends, you too can discover all of these things. I swear to you, it's a matter of practice, it's a matter of meditation, like really just letting go, having faith, and aligning your frequency. So maybe we can like really try to get there together when I do the longer meditation that I'll put out later in the week. So you may feel this connection again to Lemuria and Atlantis because you may have existed in both spaces. Atlantis obviously then had its own, it was, all pretty much what's going on here. So as like these spaces are transitioning in dimension, there comes a crossroads, I suppose, of a period where the people who have put in the work, the people who are awake, the people who are in the right alignment and frequency are going to elevate. If enough of us do, the entire planet has the ability to elevate altogether, everybody. And planet Earth right now, in case you have kind of felt like everything seems like you're looking at it through a camera lens, like you feel a little bit more removed from day-to-day interactions, like your family and friends aren't exactly the same, like you're not relating in the same way, it just feels a little bit more removed. That's because we're transitioning. You are pulling back and kind of merging more with your consciousness, merging more with source energy. And since we are all connected, source energy is always observing. So you're feeling a lot more like just you're observing things. And it's quite beautiful. So don't be disturbed by that. Embrace it. And if enough of us again can come to this place, it's like we'll all just elevate. And if you kind of feel like everything is almost like a play, like a show. You're in some sort of movie. Your dreams are way more vivid and life is becoming kind of the colors more dull. But yet at the same time, you can see beauty in odd places that you're seeing like for the human experience. This is because a separation is beginning. And believe it or not, other galaxies, other dimensional beings are watching this because it's never happened before. We are very close to shifting from 3D fully into 5D. And if we can do this, it's kind of like a huge milestone for the universe. So, yeah, all eyes are on us right now. And this is also why we chose to be here at this time. Starseeds in particular. And most everyone here has roots to different things. Like, in my mentoring, we're always kind of finding different people's paths. So, just because like I feel this strong connection to Lemuria, again, it's not really even technically like Starseed. And you may feel more of a connection. You may have been going round and round on Earth. Like you might be somebody who's been here kind of like holding down the fort, helping lead in this jolt to help humanity get to this space of awakening. There's so many different roles, and you can explore those again via meditation, via, get an Akashic record reading. There is lots of different types of things you can do, and I really encourage you to do so. Now is the time. You chose to be here at this particular incarnation for one of the biggest things that is happening ever in the universe. And we don't want to blow it like Atlantis. We're going to rise. And it's absolutely beautiful to feel into this connection and to tap into this community of spiritually awakened individuals and feel into that pure love of the 5D space. It's incredible. And I'm excited to go on that adventure with all of you. So I hope that kind of clears up some things around your background. I get so many questions about this. And yes, it's amazing to get into a deep meditation and see things, but it doesn't always have to be that either. You can absolutely just have a knowing and end it at that because you're focused on the here and now. You're focused on this task ahead, and you'll address everything else after this life. But it does help to at least understand that you have a purpose. Even if you don't know what it is, that's okay. Just step into your power. Say to yourself, I am stepping into my power. I am here for a reason. And even announce to God, to source, to your angels, to your guides, to your ancestors, to the earth, whatever you resonate with, announce with love, I am ready to serve. I'm open. I'm ready. Start giving me those downloads. We have to embody this daily. That's part of the practice. And also, part of the reason that we are here is to start really talking about it. You'd be shocked how many people feel this. Even non-woo-woo people. They'll say, that they feel something, but they'll equate it not necessarily to anything spiritual. I think it is also important to talk a bit about what I call the lighthouses that are spread all over. I like to call them lighthouses because a lot of you are Lemuria starseeds. There are many Atlantean starseeds here, and these two starseeds are here to aid in this awakening, in this collective awakening, and serving the collective. And specifically, Lemurian starseeds are extremely empathetic, intuitive, crave nature. Many of you are going to be water or earth signs. And we've been kind of like sprinkled around the world. And what's happening right now is there is hubs being created. And it's happening all over. And it's by the different names. But this network is happening. I know for a fact. And we don't even need to seek it out because naturally we're all going to find each other. And the purpose of these hubs is to kind of awaken your area, send out more people to make everything bigger and make everything be able to have a further reach. And these lighthouses are not necessarily meant to reach the masses. We are very influential to small numbers of people and one-on-one. It's sort of like, and the reason I think of it kind of like a lighthouse, it's like we're lighting little fires under everyone and lighting them up. And sadly, because we are so sensitive, we get very attached to people, but we, we make their magic bright and glowy and they leave us. And that's supposed to happen. We have to have our little birdies leave the nest. And this is because a lot of times we are finding these people who are more meant to reach on a mass scale. They're more able to maybe have like a really strong social media presence, or they're more able to have some sort of platform that they speak to everybody in more of a mass way. So you may be listening to this and be either of those things. Either way, you have a job to do. And the easiest way to do it is just to follow your intuition and go down the rabbit holes that pop up in front of you. There is no such thing as coincidence. Source is constantly talking to you until it's red in the face. So listen, meditate, listen. I really want to help people understand this and provide direction where and when I can. So I actually am going to start a Google Calendar where I can put my availability, and it may be slim, but I'm going to make myself available as much as I can. And these are going to be free phone calls, free Zoom calls. I will send you a Zoom link, and there's going to be a 15-minute limit on it because in that time, I'm sure that I can light the fire and send you on your way, and we can, have a sense of direction for you. And that way I can be available and be of service to anybody all over the world. I need to still create this calendar and maybe I'll sit and do that tonight as I watch the Olympics and try to balance the real world, family, and, Lemuria. The usual. So if you want to schedule with me, if it's not in the show notes, then I failed in creating my Google Calendar, but my website will be. So just follow me on like social and I'll try to let everybody know when that's available. But yeah, free 15 minutes. I know that that's what I'm here to do, and I have a direct line for kind of like intuitively knowing what people's magic is. Like I truly see the light and the magic in every single person that I meet. And I love seeing that magic and I love lighting that fire. So if you are feeling lost or maybe just need clarification or anything else, feel free to book a free 15-minute appointment with me. And I will try to sprinkle those around my months and, try to get to as many of you as possible. But keep an eye out later in the week. Or if you catch this next week, maybe you can, or maybe it's already out, but I want to put out that meditation that's going to sync you up and get you going and light you up. And it's going to be fantastic. So I love, love, love you all. I hope that this provided some clarity. And if it just made you way more confused, then book the 15-minute free Zoom call and we can chat. I would love to hear from you. Love, love, love to everybody out there. Until next time.